We were on our way up there, aboard ship, but they had mined, the North Koreans had mined just outside the harbor there, so we couldn't land. So we went up and down the coast for a couple, 3 days while they got rid of the mines. So we were late in getting in. So when we landed, instead of, there's no shooting or anything, we just land and walk up. Because the rocks, the Korean army had taken that area already. And guess who was there? Bob Hope. Bob Hope was there with his company. And he, of course, he always had smart remarks to make. He said, "Here comes the Marines have landed." And we walked up, embarrassing as hell. He said, "Okay." So we have to go up a ways on a road and then inland. And we're headed for the destination is the Chosin Reservoir. And it's fall. It's really pretty nice, November. It's kind of like fall around here, The country up there is beautiful. Pine trees all over the place, just like the mountains here in Colorado. Rushing streams, hey, it's okay. But anyway, we got up there. So we head up the Funchulin Pass, I think it's called. So you go up, and at the top of the hill is Hagaru-ri, the little village called Hagaru-ri. And that's where we're talking about the division going up now. So you got the division is 1st Marines, 5th Marines, 7th Marines. These are regiments, along with the artillery and all the attached units. So we go up the hill to Hagaru-ri, and no resistance really. Beautiful country. I remember when I got up there talking to a buddy, and he was kind of nervous. And I said, "What's the matter?" He said, "My God, I saw the biggest damn tiger you could believe." I said, "What? Isn't it in India?" And he said, "I don't care. It's just, I saw him. Huge. It's like a damn horse." And I said, "Well, sure, I know." And I passed it off. Well, not too long ago, I was looking at a National Geographic magazine. I was talking about Siberian tigers. And it showed at that time, because this is, 1950, that their range of the Siberian tiger, hell, it was just north of where we were. So I said, "My God, maybe he was right, The weather's beautiful, really no resistance. So we just go up and head for the Chosin Reservoir. And this is right around Thanksgiving. We weren't expecting too much trouble, You don't know, but I didn't. Of course, got to remember, man, I'm 17 years old, I'm a PFC. Nobody tells me anything. Hell, I didn't know where we were. All of this I know, I know now, after the fact, reading books and stuff. I said, where the hell was I? And I find out. But at the time, I didn't know diddly. I didn't even know what the time of day was. I didn't know the day of the week or anything. And I didn't know there were a bunch of Chinese up there waiting for us either. So anyway, we go up. Trucks, I believe, if I remember. And we go up through the west, I think it's the west side of the Chosin. So we sat up there, and it was just a day or two. And we were issued cold weather gear because it said it was going to get cold. Now it'd get cold. All of a sudden, it seemed to hit, It's colder than hell. God almighty, it got cold. I guess that part of the Korea was notorious for cold weather. It sweeps down from Manchuria, and man, oh man. But anyway, they issued that. And it's a parka. It's long. It was really a Navy parka, I was told later. It'd be nice if it were a little shorter, but it's long, cumbersome, heavy. It's got this artificial pile, but warm. It was warm, I'll say that. Got that. And you got mittens, and you got, I don't think we had anything for our heads. I don't remember. But anyway, then the feet. So you got the, if you're familiar with the LL Bean, they came up with years, long time ago with the boots, the LL Bean boots. Leather top, rubber bottoms. Great for duck blinds, stuff like that. But you're not supposed to be walking in them and getting them sweaty and then lying on the ground probably. So you end up with frostbite. I mean, it's just as sure as hell you're gonna get it. That's what we had to wear. Okay. They issued us all this gear. We were there a couple of days, and we were relieved by an Army unit. I think it was what was it, a battalion or a regiment? The commander was Colonel Faith. He took over there, and we went around. And before we went to the right side or the west side of the reservoir, the 7th Marines had come up and gone on the other side and set up. 1st Marines are back at Hagaru-ri. They stayed there. And the 7th Marines went up to close to a little village called Udamni. So we went around there by truck up to join the 7th Marines. And it was just a day or two after Thanksgiving, I think. So we got up there, got out of the trucks, we went out in there's a big bean field there. Bare, nothing there. And all of a sudden on the hills around there comes green tracers, which means North Koreans. We had red and they used green. And it was just hell to pay. Because the 7th Marines were up there, and the North Koreans they were attacking the 7th Marines on the hill up there. Here I am down in the bean field. By this time it had really gotten cold. It was a colder son of a gun. So I'm down there and God, my bowels, of course, are all screwed up. They had been for 9 months. Had to go. So off comes all the crap you got to wear and everything. So I there, my butt exposed to the elements in the bean field. Green tracers are flying over my head. There are mortars and hand grenades going off up the hill up there. I said, oh God, what am I gonna do? And I had to go. But I tell you, that was the last time I had a problem. It scared the hell out of me. So I every time I give a speech now about the Chosin Reservoir, I always bring that up. I say, I have a surefire cure for diarrhea, dysentery, all that stuff, all the bowel problems. All you got to do, if you want to cure it, is you got to hire somebody to fire mortars and throw hand grenades, man a machine gun, or use green tracers, do all of that, absolute cure. You'll never be bothered. Because that was it. I never had a problem after that. So then we had to go, they assigned us a hill to defend. And I can't remember the name of it again, the numbers. It was just right around Udamni. This is where all the problems were. Now, back a ways, at the where you turn off to go west or east at the reservoir at the bottom there, that's where Hagaru-ri was. This is where it's a little village in the mountain hill. None of them mounted anything. And this is where the commanding general had his post there. And now he was defending it. Now were a bunch of cooks. There wasn't any real Marines there. Now some were added later. They did send some up from the first Marines, I think, from Hagaru-ri. And you got the cooks, the engineers, because he was smart, our commanding general, no dummy. They keep telling him, you got to go north, you got to go north. And he said, the hell with this. He says, we got nobody, no support on either side of us. The army's getting the hell kicked out of them, coming back down. This is crazy. So he delayed things all the time. He had to talk, I guess, with General Almond, MacArthur's sidekick. They didn't get along because Almond had kept telling him, don't let a bunch of Chinese laundrymen stop you. And he said, the hell, there's a bunch of them, boy. They're not just a few. Well, come to find out later, there's about 135,000 of them. And he's got 10,000 Marines. So we're in the frying pan there. But he was smart. So he started building or having the engineers bulldoze out a landing strip. Because he figured, well, we're going to have a lot of wounded, a lot of casualties. So we better have a way of getting them out of here and back to the hospital ships and stuff. So anyway, we're up at Udamne, and we have this hill to defend. And the 7th Marines were on other hills around us. And other 5th Marine Division, or 5th Marines were at some other hills. So we had all these hills to defend. And they aren't real big, they're like the foothills out here in Colorado. But you start climbing them all the time and it gets tiresome. So we go up the hill, get set up, and we send out patrols to find out what's going on. I had a good buddy he was from Iowa too. He went on one of these patrols. They never saw him again. That patrol was just disappeared. So we get up there, and we're set up about maybe 50 yards or so down from the crest. On the crest, we got all the rifle platoons, the machine gunners, BAR men. The BAR, that's a real light machine gun. You can carry it. It's heavy, but it's pretty good. The ammo we use, nowadays they use, I don't know, small caliber stuff. Ours was, like 30-06, good size. You hit somebody with it and that's it. So we get set up and we're supposed to dig foxholes. Well, there ain't no way you're digging foxholes when it's 20 below zero. The temperature at night was right around 20 degrees below zero. One night it got to 40 degrees below zero. 40 degrees. It's like Alaska, like the damn Siberia. You can't dig a foxhole. Take an entrenching tool, hit it, boom, bounces up in the air. So this is a bunch of nonsense. So all we could do was take rocks around there and set them around where you would normally have a foxhole. Set that around. And at night, when it gets dark, all you can do, we got sleeping bags. But that's absolute madness to crawl into a sleeping bag. You get caught in that, man, you're dead. And it's happened quite a bit. So no sleeping bags. So we stick our feet in there, because feet are always cold anyway. So I'd have my feet stuck into the sleeping bag, and the sleeping bag would be about up to here. And then I have the parka on, and that's it. And I'd lay down on the ground. To be honest, my torso, my body, was never cold. all the time I was there. My feet were cold. They were numb most of the time. And the hands got cold, the extremities. But no, not my body. That parka was really warm. Heavy, but it was warm. So it's worth it, I guess. Everybody got frostbite. When I went to the VA, because I finally was told by some buddies, I joined the Chosen Few organization. This was only about 15 years ago, maybe. I never paid much attention, to all this stuff. Forgotten the war, the hell with it. But I thought, I would join, see some friends maybe. So I joined that, and the guys there told me, he said, go to the VA and tell them you were at the Chosin Reservoir. So I did that. I went in, and they told me I was at the Chosin Reservoir. So they immediately sent me down for x-rays, my feet and hands. And they came back and they said, 100%. Your feet are in terrible shape. Your feet and your hands are, the joints are deteriorating. So at that time, it wasn't that bad, I could tell something was going on. But well, it wasn't 100% yet. It was like 80%, I think. But anyway, it was a good chunk of money. So, hey, man, this is okay. I'm finally getting some payback. About time I did. It didn't take long either. Well, it was real quick, and they said, hey, man, you got it. You were at the Chosin Reservoir? I don't know why you bothered even x-raying you. You got it. Because everybody did. Some worse than others. Some, hell, they lost feet and stuff. But mine wasn't that bad. I was very careful about it. What you had to do, you got these big wool socks. You got 2 or 3 pair. So you always keep some, and you got to keep it next to your body to dry out, or it never dries out really, but so it's not too moist from sweat. And you got to keep changing socks whenever you can. You take a pair and stick them on, and take the wet pair, stick it back in there. So that's how I avoided the real bad frostbite. We had close air support. These Corsair planes. Have you seen? I don't know if you've seen them. They're gull winged. They're prop. They aren't jets. They're prop. We have a Marine Air Wing, and that's the planes they flew. And they were perfect for that kind of terrain because they could go in and out of the valleys, and they would go, they're really good. The jets, we had an Air Force jet one time. It's supposed to be a close air support, which means that they're trying to take care of the ground troops on the ground. The strafe, napalm, that kind of stuff. So the Chinese were smart enough to know, they learned the hard way, that they don't show during the day. They use this at night, just like the Japanese. They attack at night. Well, here they are. They're coming at night, about midnight or so. It varied. So we're set up, and we know damn well they're going to come. So actually, I don't think anybody was sleeping. And they set up the booby traps in front of our positions, and flares, and just wait for them. And here they come. They're blowing whistles, blowing bugles. I think they were kind of primitive. These were the signals for what they wanted the troops to do. Like 2 blasts on a bugle meant they go there and that kind of stuff. So there they come. Die, Marine, you son of a bitch, Marine, die, Well, if you're a young kid, and somebody does that to you in the middle of the night, it's 20, 30 below zero, it can scare the hell out of you, you know. And that's the problem the Army had. But our NCOs, non-commissioned officers, the sergeants and up, you know, they had all been through the Pacific War. And they were used to all the Japanese doing the same crap. So it didn't bother them. And they indoctrinated us. Don't worry about it. It was baloney. Doesn't mean a damn thing. Just all hot air. They get hung up in all the booby traps and the barbed wire. But they'd lay on top of things, you know, and then they'd come over. So then machine guns could take care of them. The light machine guns, air-cooled 30 caliber machine guns. And they were set up in strategic areas or spots. And they'd come, screaming and yelling, and then we returned the fire and mowed them down. I mean, they came by the hundreds, and we killed them by the hundreds. And they were piled up. And pretty soon they were piled up in front of the machine guns. So the machine gunner couldn't see anything. So they kept moving machine guns to have a field of fire. Then eventually, of course, they're going to overrun you because there's damn many of them. You can't shoot them fast enough. They'd come over and they'd overrun you, and they'd come down the hill. So they'd be going by you. We were down about 50 yards down. So as they go by, because you can't really see them, it's dark. So all you see is shadows, really. So you're shooting at shadows. Well, we'd get quite a few of them. And they'd come down, they'd mill around on the bottom of the hill. And they didn't know what the hell to do. They were just kind of like a bunch of idiots. And then they would be taken care of by the troops that are still down at the bottom. So this went on. I forget how many nights now. It all kind of blurs together. Some nights worse than others, you know. Like I said, 135,000 against 10,000 of us. We lost, I think, in the whole battle up there, I think we lost about 3,000 or 4,000 dead. Wounded, well, if you count frostbite, everybody else. I kind of knew I wasn't going to get out. I thought I was going to get killed over there. Because you got so damn many of them. What are you going to do? The only thing you do is listen to the non-coms and the officers who had been through this in the Second World War. And they kind of steadied everybody. Because they knew that what we were up against. I remember our platoon leader, he said, do not, under any circumstances, surrender. Because he had surrendered at Corregidor in the Second World War and gone through a prisoner of war camp and all that stuff. So he said, don't do it. Don't do it. Hang in there. So that's what everybody did. I don't know if anybody surrendered, you know. Even they were in bad shape, you know.
Did you have any trouble getting resupplies on?
Everything was parachuted in. Everything. Oh yeah, some half-wit. So I don't know, somehow it got mixed up. And we certainly didn't order any, but they dropped all kinds of Tootsie Rolls, man, you know, boxes and boxes and boxes. And they said, what the hell are these? What are we supposed to do with them? Well, what you can do with them is eat the damn things, because you can't eat sea rations. Sea rations are frozen. Now you can, if you get a fire going sometime, maybe if you got a chance, stick it in there. Maybe the outside will get a little soft, you know. The inside's still frozen hot. So I must have lost 20, 30 pounds there. Couldn't eat, you know. Couldn't eat. But the Tootsie Rolls kind of saved me. I lived on Tootsie Rolls for a couple of weeks. Tootsie Rolls and cigarettes. Get a package of cigarettes every time in the sea rations. And then nowadays, of course, you can't smoke, for Pete's sake. Well, I could care less about that over there. So if it's going to kill me, so what? Something else is going to kill me before that, probably. So I didn't pay any attention. Cigarettes were good. Cigarettes and Tootsie Rolls. And you carry the canteen, you carry that inside someplace. And all kinds of crap inside under the parka so it wouldn't freeze. And got a beard on, you know. And the British Marines were with us. Now those are the nice guys. Those are good. They're good troops. We got along good with the British Marines. They foul mouthed, I know that. Every other word is the F word. But you know, they were close by, but not, you know, didn't really deal that much personally with them. But they were good. They shaved. You know, yeah, we didn't bother with that, but they did. I don't care. I don't know if they had water or not. They were shaving. They were good troops. The end of it, okay, we were told to withdraw to Hagaru because we knew there's no point in being up there. We're going to get stuck up there and get annihilated if we don't do something because we don't have it. We can't kill them all fast enough. So the idea was to withdraw and march back, and with all the gear. They had a few trucks and some bulldozers and jeeps and stuff like that. Go back. It wasn't that far, really, but it took a few days to do it because they were on all sides of us, you know. And they had roadblocks set up. So, you know, every damn time there's a roadblock, you gotta get out there and get up the hill. And I remember the day we left that hill we were on, Baker Company was assigned the wonderful task of being the last ones out. Wonderful. So here we are. I'm down at the bottom of the hill. We're walking. The only ones riding were wounded or the dead. So I'm walking down at the bottom and looking up at the hill we just left, and you could see the Chinese come pouring over the crest. But they didn't shoot at us or anything. They were trying to loot because everything we had that was thrown away was valuable to them. They didn't have pot to pee in or anything. So that was lucky there. They stopped up there and they were fooling around trying to grab stuff. Then we just kept going. We were the last company out of the place. The bottom of the hill we left, that's where we stacked all the dead bodies, our troops. The Chinese, after that first night, all the dead Chinese, there were all kinds of them, we would take and stack those around on the rocks around us. So that was our foxhole then. It was above ground, but we had some protection, mainly for mortars, because they kept firing those in too. So the dead Chinese were around us. We'd take our dead Marines and take them down the hill to the bottom in the morning. And they were, when our buddies died, they died in very awkward positions because they died and then they were immediately frozen. So their arms would be sticking up like that. So it's gruesome, man. And we had to take them down and they had to put them in a stack like cordwood down at the bottom. And because they were frozen in such awkward positions, you had to break their arms or legs to get them so you could make some kind of a pile out of them, you know. We took our dead out too, as many as we could. Like, you know, that patrol that was lost by the Corsairs, you know, God knows they're still over there. So we walked back toward Hagaru, and it was slow going. And there was a Tuk Tong Pass, which we were going by. I think it was Easy Company, 7th Marines. Not quite sure. It's a famous deal. They were stuck up there. They were supposed to defend the pass. And they were, how many Congressional Medals of Honor were won up there? I know one, Hagaru-ri, an Italian kid, he got it. One. The company commander got it. Hell, there might have been more. And it was, they were totally surrounded, attacked night and day, and they were just kept being whittled down in numbers because they had so damn many wounded and dead. But we went there, and they were rescued by another company of Marines. Then we kept going back, and finally we could see Hagaru-ri, and we figured, maybe we could get some sleep, maybe. So we go back. So we go marching in, and everybody starts singing the Marine Corps hymn. And there we are, marching through, coming in. And so I'd look at those magnificent bastards, say, still brings tears. Seems like yesterday, you know. But anyway, we got in. And somehow they made a bunch of flapjacks. And we had flapjacks and syrup, and they had some tents set up, and we went in, and we collapsed in those damn tents, and we slept. And nobody shooting at us or anything. It was wonderful. That was the first good night's sleep I'd had in God knows when, weeks.